us trying to figure it out. It's not for everybody. You know, that's what happens at times, you know. We're just in a funk. We're in a funk. Once again, we're back to the beginning of the season. And we just got to find a way to get out of it, you know. And, you know, it's going to just start with us and everybody just getting back to what we're doing. We're playing good ball, but, you know, it's so fragile, you know, and I don't know where, you know, kind of went wrong or what happened. It kind of the switch went back, but you know, we got to try to pick it back up and find it.
Welcome to SI Now Live on this Friday. I'm Robert Lundberg, and I'm doing better than LeBron James and the Cavs, who are coming off yet another blowout loss last night to the Raptors, 133-99, the most points ever allowed by a LeBron team in a regular season game. A clip that you saw at the beginning, which was liked on Instagram by Kyrie Irving, by the way, and a result like that should definitely lead to some hot takes. So I'm now joined by showrunner Ben Teitelbaum to go through a round of hot take, smart take, where he gives a take and I decide whether it is hot or smart. Take it away, Ben.
Robin, I know you're LeBron's biggest defender, but he's been getting smacked. Cavs have lost 6 of 8, the last 2 by a combined 62 points. Here's the hot take, Robin. This year, LeBron and the Cavs will not even make the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's a smart take. As you said, I'm someone who believes LeBron James is the best basketball player ever. I'm not ready to say definitively that the Cavs won't get there or that they won't make the Eastern Conference Finals, but right now, it sure feels like they're an inferior team to the Raptors and most notably to the Boston Celtics. The Cavs have legitimate problems. You can address the fact that they go through these patterns where they struggle in January, pick it up in February, struggle again at the end of the season. But defensively, they're legitimately bad, 29th in the NBA. J.R. Smith has been worthless for them. Jay Crowder has been terrible for them. They need to upgrade their roster and add some perimeter athleticism, or else if it doesn't happen now, it's going to happen soon. And this is the first year since he got there, after they made the J.R. Shumpert trade his first year there, where I legitimately feel like LeBron's run of 7 straight finals may come to an end. And Kyrie Irving will be liking a lot more posts if that's the case.
We were talking some Paul George to the Cavs trades earlier. I think there might be something there. Maybe we'll get a hot take on that next week. But let's go football for a second. The Steelers prepping for the Jags in the upcoming NFL playoff weekend. But Le'Veon Bell is talking about his contract. He says that if he is tagged with the franchise tag again, he might sit out next season or retire altogether. So the hot take is Le'Veon Bell will not play next year.
Well, that's a hot take from Le'Veon Bell and seems like a negotiating tactic. You never know. I mean, that is a very dangerous position to play. I mean, we talk about football altogether, but as a running back, you're basically a human projectile. So I understand wanting to be compensated at the highest level in a way that is friendly beyond 1 year. But I can't imagine Le'Veon Bell in his prime on a team as good as the Steelers with the earning power that he has actually calling it quits. We've seen guys leave early. I mean, Barry Sanders, most notably, as a running back, did it. But I think this is a ploy by Bell to make sure that he gets paid by the Steelers, and it's not via the franchise tag.
Back to the NBA and something that makes me truly sad. Robin, can I show you some video?
Sure.
It's Markelle Fultz, the #1 overall pick in the draft. The #1 consensus pick, no doubt about it. Yesterday, some video surfaced of him shooting before a game in London. He's not yet cleared to play. But that shot, Robin, looks so broke. I'm a big fan of this kid. I don't like to see this, but here is the hot take. We know already that Markelle Fultz will be considered a bust.
That feels like a hot take because when you're labeling somebody a bust this early, I feel bad. I mean, Markelle Fultz, as you mentioned, rookie year, just a kid. But it's more likely to be a smart take in my mind because if I'm redoing the NBA draft right now, I'm taking Jason Tatum, #1, who has the highest true shooting percentage of any rookie ever right now. A big reason why the Celtics may win the Eastern Conference and beat LeBron to get to the finals. I'm taking Lauri Markkanen, I'm taking Donovan Mitchell, and I'm taking, on top of that, Lonzo Ball before I get to Markelle Fultz. So is that enough to say he's a bust if he drops from 1 to 5? And we'll see. I mean, he's got a lot of catching up to do to get to those guys, but he hasn't played effectively at all in the NBA thus far, so his odds aren't looking great. I'm rooting for him, of course.
I spent a day with Markelle last year in April, actually the day of the national championship game. I shot jumpers with him. Shot looked good then.
Who made more?
I'm not sure. The tape, it got lost to history. But There's something wrong, whether it's the yips or the shoulder. We don't know. We will see. Final one for you, Robin. Back to the NFL. Our own Albert Breer has been reporting on where Kirk Cousins might go. And recently it surfaced that maybe the Browns could be an option and that Cousins would consider going there. I don't know why, but here's the hot take. Kirk Cousins on the Browns makes that team a legitimate playoff contender.
That is a hot take. If you had brought a lesser charge, maybe I would have said, yeah, I'll go with it. He will improve them, put them in contention for a playoff spot. But 0-16 to the playoffs is just too much of a jump for me to call that a smart take. The Browns aren't positioned that poorly. I mean, the easy punchline is how bad they've been, and it's a believe it when I see it sort of deal, like the other team in Cleveland not making the finals. The Browns actually winning 2 games in a row at some point would be a believe it when I see it. But they've got a bevy of draft picks stocked up. They haven't had good quarterback play. I think Kirk Cousins has proven he is at least a solid quarterback in the NFL. With Josh Gordon there, they would improve a lot, but they would have to improve by roughly 10 games in order to make it to the playoffs next year. Thanks, Ben. That was a prediction for next year's NFL playoffs, of course. Now it's time to talk about this weekend's matchups. Joined now by Connor Orr of the MMQB to go through some either-or scenarios for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. So, Connor, what's more likely? We'll start with one underdog wins outright this weekend or no underdogs cover the spread.
I don't know. I think that if the Eagles still had Carson Wentz, I think it might be a different story. But, I like the Falcons coming into this game, so I'm going to say that no underdogs win outright because the Eagles are a dog there at Lincoln Financial this weekend. Speaking
of an underdog, how about this one? The Titans cover the spread or the Patriots win by more than 20 points. The spread roughly 14 points right now.
Oof. I would say the Patriots win by more than 20, if only because I think Tom Brady in his last 8 games against Dick LeBeau is 6-2 with almost 20 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So even though Dick LeBeau is a legendary defensive coordinator, I think Tom Brady has his number there.
Is there any scenario you see where the Titans can win that game?
It would have to be, a sloppy game where, Derrick Henry, I think, set the franchise record last week with most total yards in the playoffs for the Titans. So if he can do that again, if he can get up in that 190 range where he's receiving the ball well and running the ball up the middle, maybe keeping the ball away from the Patriots would help them. But I think this one's going to be a tough one for Mike Mularkey.
All right, next one. Ben Roethlisberger throws for more than 350 yards or for 2 or more interception, more likely?
I think 2 or more interceptions. This Jaguars defense is that good, and one of the things that they have going for them is they have such a big presence at the defensive line. You've seen Calais Campbell, tip a lot of passes that have been intercepted this year, so it almost doubles your chances every time you drop back. Antonio Brown's not totally healthy, so he's going to be spreading the ball around. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit of a minefield for him to navigate.
You segued nicely into this one. Antonio Brown goes for over 100 yards receiving, or leaves the game early.
Boy, that's a good question. I hate betting against Antonio Brown just because, he's such a tremendous player and has played hurt in the past. I was there in Pittsburgh when he walked off the field with that calf injury. I actually ended up going to the hospital. So I don't think we know exactly how severe this injury is, but if he's actually physically healthy enough to play and not a decoy, I would bet on him going for 100+.
Nick Foles, how about this one? Throws for 3 TDs or 0 TDs, more likely?
I'm rooting for him to throw 3 touchdowns just because this town is having its heart ripped out. Their basketball team started well and have seemed to drop off a little bit. And, the Eagles got the #1 seed and then lost their quarterback. So, let me just root for my home state of Pennsylvania here. Hopefully Nick Foles gets 3 touchdowns in this one.
All right, and then we've got the Vikings D. They hold the Saints under 350 total yards, or the Saints score more than 30 points.
I think the Vikings defense holding them under 350 yards. Drew Brees picked up the slack for Alvin Kamara in the running game last week, but this Vikings defense is something that they haven't seen before. I think that in my mind they're a little bit more complete than that Panthers unit. So I'm looking to see them shut down Drew Brees and become the first team to ever have home field advantage at the Super Bowl.
So you like the Vikings in that one. You like the Falcons. I know you like the Patriots, and you like the Steelers over the Jaguars as well?
That's the only tough one there. In my MMQB picks, I had the Jaguars actually going to face the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, so I'm going to stick with that pick. I think Tom Coughlin and that defense. I think there's something. I think there's something special happening there.
So on the Blake Bortles bandwagon. Well, not really Blake Bortles.
Maybe the Tom Coughlin bandwagon, not the Blake Bortles bandwagon.
Connor Orr of the MMQB, appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks, guys.
Shawn, Marion, and Cedric Ceballos are part of the Amazing Race, Wednesdays at 8 on CBS. Hashtag Team Slam Dunk. Of course, you guys will be taking on other racers there, but we thought it would be interesting and fun to have you take your pick on NBA player comps, roughly coinciding with when you played, some during Cedric's prime years and others during Shawn's prime years, so basically the 90s versus the 2000s. Let's start with the big one, and Shawn, you can go first. Jordan or LeBron?
I guess it depends on what kind of player you're trying to do and what kind of team you're trying to have. I'm going to say, of course, I grew up in Chicago. I'm a Jordan fan to the fullest, but I respect and admire LeBron. I played with him as well. But I guess I can't really decide. It depends on what time, unless I know what kind of team I'm trying to build.
How about you, Cedric?
I'm going Jordan all the way. I love LeBron. Obviously love Jordan too. Everybody does, but when it goes to Jordan, I gotta go with him. A finisher, a starter, in between the first and the fourth quarter, even overtime. Just the way he changed the game. LeBron has wonderful skills. Is a much better ball handler, much better passer, rebounder. I think he can defend more inside and outside than Michael Jordan did. But when it comes to being undefeated in the finals, I'd rather go to the finals and win all of them and then go to the finals and get 2 or 3.
Now, you guys are in the Amazing Race. Shawn, you played for the 7 seconds or less Suns. Let's make this rapid fire now. 7 seconds or less, give me your answer. You guys can go back and forth off of it after that. How about Scottie Pippen and Kevin Durant? Shawn, go ahead.
Oh, Scottie Pippen.
Ced?
Yeah, I got to go Scottie right now. Defender, much more better defender. And that's obviously he can't score like Durant, but I got to go with defender and also championships.
Point guard spanning era. Pick one of these guys. Stockton, Nash, and Curry. Shawn, go ahead.
Oh my God, Curry. Curry. I'm sorry. I play with Steve. I love Steve to death, but in Stockton, but I gotta go with Curry, man. He's the best shooter of all. He's gonna go down as the best shooter in NBA history, period.
Well, you asked about point guards, and I got to go John Stockton. Even though Curry scores all the points and has championships, to me, he's a 2-guard. As far as point guard position, you don't get no better than John Stockton in that category.
All right, some triple-double machines, Jason Kidd or Russell Westbrook. What do you think of that one, Shawn?
Oh, my God. I played with J. Kidd, and I think he's coaching the floor. It speaks for itself. I think he's amazing. And God, salute my man, that's my guy to the fullest. But when you put them into the same category, I don't feel like you can, because I think Westbrook is just way more athletic than J. Kidd was.
I got to go with Jason Kidd on this one too with Shawn. Russell Westbrook, it seems like he was going for the triple-double. Jason Kidd just happens to get it all the time. He doesn't really go out and try to get a triple-double. He's just effective getting in there, scrapping with the big guys with rebounding, long rebounds. He's a natural passer at first, and then he just so happens to always get 10 to 15 points. He really doesn't try to blow you up with the score. I don't think Jason Kidd enters the game saying, I'm going to get a triple-double tonight.
Let's go to ball handlers. Tim Hardaway Sr. or Kyrie Irving? Go ahead, Shawn.
Oh, Uncle Drew. I love Kyrie. No, Uncle Drew and Timmy. You know what? I gotta go with Uncle Timmy. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Timmy is from Chicago, and that double crossover he had was unbelievable. And at that time, he was able to get past any and everybody, and regardless of who it was so effective, and I love him for that.
Well, Kyrie Irving right now, I think the era that Tim Hardaway played in, if he would have done all those tricky moves, he would have been hurt a lot of times going to the basket. It was just, it was a big man thing. They never wanted you to be disrespected. But one that's not being mentioned is Isaiah Thomas I. Very, very good ball handler, Chicago kid too. Unbelievable Hall of Famer. I think his ball handling skills were bananas. But again, he couldn't do all those tricks because if he was to drive to the hoop, Buck Williams and all these old school Lonnie Shelton, they would have murdered him because he's trying to embarrass their guards.
Gary Payton or Chris Paul? Go ahead, Ced.
Wow, the GP right there. I got to go with the GP. Always cool, calm, and collective. I always thought CP, when the game gets tight, he gets into a shoving match or a physical match with his opponent, and it throws the rest of his team off. So I got to go with GP. Obviously, I've been in the finals too, and having the opportunity to win a championship in Miami, just controlling and being calm, even though his mouth is always going 100 miles an hour. He's always been calm and be able to control his team. I go with the best general is Gary Payton.
I'm gonna have to agree with Sid on that one. I think CP is a great competitor. I think he just, he just plays with such a chip on his shoulder at times. But I think sometimes he get lost in the shuffle of the game. And in that kind of time, you need that guy to be focused and lead your team and finish out the court. GP is that guy. And oh my God, when he plays lockdown defense, he plays lockdown defense.
Two guys who will come around screens and get the shots off: Reggie Miller or Klay Thompson. Cedric, what do you think?
I'm going to go with neither one. I'm going to go with Ray Allen. He's not on that list, but Reggie's my guy, but I got to go with Ray Allen. Most pure, come off the pick, screen, light it up, jump shot shooter that I know and I've watched. Reggie, we grew up together, and obviously he's going to be second on that list, but I know you're comparing the two eras.
Honestly, they all different in how they get their shots off. But the fastest the kid shooting, I think just catch and shoot it yourself is Klay. Klay shoot faster than Ray. Fast as the quickest release, it's gotta be Klay Thompson.
What's been the Amazing Race like for you guys? How's that been going? What's your experience been?
For me, it's been awesome. I think our fans and our family got to see us compete on their favorite shows and one of their favorite shows, and it just speaks for itself. Everybody thinking about everybody keep asking, where'd y'all do? How far y'all go? What'd y'all do? We can't say nothing. I was like, y'all gotta watch the next episode. And for the most part, it's been cool, man. I think I'm just taking it. I'm taking it as it goes, and it's been definitely cool. It's been cool. It was a cool experience, and who knows what's next.
It was a fun experience. We laughed the whole way through. We had a lot of situations where we either were too big or this didn't fit us, or we didn't know how to do some things, and after finishing the race or tapping in, we laughed about it. So it was a great experience for us. Obviously, being world travelers, both of us seeing lots of people, we're used to that. But in this element, this is a little different. And I had a blast and had a good time, too.
Appreciate the time today, guys. It was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's time for SI Now's Weekend Drive, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. First, we head across the pond for some Premier League action between Manchester City and Liverpool, two top four teams. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp knows the importance a win against City is here in order to gain ground on the first-place team.
We need the points, and we want to be in that situation. We want to stay as close as possible to the teams in front of us. We cannot get them immediately because they win, obviously, as well a lot of games, but we want to be in a position really as close as possible.
Last time these two teams played, Man City clobbered the Reds 5-0. Next, we head back stateside for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. The last time the Steelers and Jaguars met, Big Ben threw 5 interceptions, including 2 pick sixes, in a 39 rout by the Jags. Jacksonville rookie running back Leonard Fournette capped that win with a 90-yard touchdown, but knows this game will be different.
Ben is not trying to make the same mistakes he made. The defense is not trying to make the same mistakes they made. And like I say, it's more of it's going to be a challenge once again. It's playoffs. Things are going to be different, and we just have to come on our A game.
Since their Week 5 meeting, the Jaguars went 8-4, while the Steelers woke up and went 10-1. Lastly, we head north to Minnesota, where the Vikings will host the Saints. A lot has happened since their Week 1 matchup, but Saints running back Mark Ingram is ready for the challenge against Minnesota's #1 ranked defense from the regular season.
They have a great defense. We all know that. We're just focusing on our game plan and getting ready to go out there and execute.
Ingram and Alvin Kamara will need to step it up on the ground this game against the Vikings' #2 rush defense. The two backs combined for only 45 yards on the ground against the Panthers a week ago. And that's what